Greetings and salutations, I'm Evan Ross Katz, Senior Style Editor at Mic. We are on the 82nd floor of One World Trade at Mic's headquarters, where the cast of RuPaul's Drag Race has taken over Mic. Literally, one of my coworkers is chained down in the other room. Seated before me are 10 of the 14 queens that will be competing on the show. And today, we are here to break down Special Counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation.
Yay! Guilty!
So let's get into it. No, I'm just kidding. We're here today to talk about Drag Race, obviously. So let me start with some introductions. First up, we have Aquaria.
Bonjour. How are you?
Oh, great. Monet Exchange.
Oh, cha-ching!
The Vixen.
Bite me.
Eureka O'Hara.
What?
Cameron Michaels.
Hi, hello, how are you?
Blair St. Clair.
Well, I do declare.
Mayhem Miller.
Hey.
Yuha Hamasaki. Dusty Ray Bottoms.
Never loved ya.
And Monique Hart.
The ooh-ah-ah sensation.
So thank you all so much for being here. Before we get into the gig, I want to chat because tomorrow's the big day.
I
Yes.
know.
Long time coming. How's everyone feeling?
Great.
Sober. Hey, I've been waiting on this for 2 years.
I think we're just all excited because the truth is that we filmed it so long ago. So like I know for me, like I forgot so much stuff that happened. You know what I mean? So I think we all just want to see what shady shit we said about each other. Confessionals, girl.
I didn't say nothing shady about any of you.
I told all of you guys straight to your faces. That's all I did.
If anything, my eyes said what I needed to say. That's me.
That's all I needed.
So let's talk about this sort of instant fame that you guys are all experiencing right now as a result of being announced on the show. I want to hear what that's been like for each of you, and I want to see, are there any friends of yours, old friends, that have sort of come out of the woodwork and been like, hey girl, what's up all of a sudden? So, to start,
in your DM.
let me start with Mayhem. I want to get your response.
Dang, why me first? Well, I have noticed ever since it's been announced, some people have come from way back in the beginning of time to be like, oh, hey girl. Guys that used to want to talk to me, not give me the time of day. You look, like the boy pictures all of a sudden now and tell me how handsome I am. I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell? I've been single all this time and now you want to talk to me? I'm like,
What
oh,
happened?
okay.
Like people that showed up to the show, like that I've never seen in like forever. After I came back, they all showed up. I'm like, what changed your mind? Why didn't you come last month or 2 months ago? But all of a sudden you want to come.
And then all of a sudden everyone's like, do you remember that time when we did this? Or do you remember that time when I did something for you? I'm like, oh girl, you're starting to chop up, get it in.
Oh, listen, I'm not like these girls. I have no shame. I'm like, absolutely. Now I'm a famous bitch. Give me your dick.
I feel like if somebody wants to sleep with me or give me something because I was on the show, guess what? I was on the show. I earned that. I earned that. Hello?
And it is harder than people think.
Yes, and it is hard, so I deserve it. Yes.
I don't know, like I guess it feels different for me. I don't really feel like I'm famous. I feel like I'm the same, like normal, like I'm a little like everyday person. Like I literally doesn't feel different. Do you guys feel like different?
She's used to getting all of this attention.
There's always been special.
Right.
So I want to talk about some of our favorite moments on the show, because now that we're in season 10, a lot of you are fans of the show, began as fans of the show, and now you're starring on it. So I want to get some favorite moments. Let's start first with lip syncs, as we all love. Eureka, I want to start with you. Do you have a favorite lip sync from the past?
My favorite is always going to probably be Alyssa Edwards and Coco Montree's Cold Hearted Snake.
Oh, that is
yes.
Slay of the Drag Race century.
Yellow,
that's what that is.
Girl, when she pointed to her mouth and she was like, I know all these words.
She said,
Anything, I don't even know all the words, and I'm a 90s queen, bitch. I'm
right. Girl, I stole her move. I do that all the time in shows. I'm like,
Basically anything Alyssa Edwards, I would say. Alyssa Edwards versus Tatiana. Alyssa Edwards versus Coco Montrese again during I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my hair back and forth.
The best one for sure is Dita Ritz and Princess.
Yes.
I love it. This will be is legendary.
That is one of my all-time favorites.
Bitch, when she shuffled down the...
Because Natalie can call. She was like,
yeah.
For me, it has to be though, because she was just so still and so in the moment. Latrice Royale singing Natural Movement. She's like, I'm not moving. Well, the bitch is fat. She can't move that fast.
Honey, and you know how hot it is in that studio.
Oh, girl, let me tell you, Latrice Royale will sweat taking a sneeze. You know what I'm saying? So she just stood there flat-footed and just gave it all to you. And you were like, girl, my life has changed. Flat-footed.
Manila and Delta Work.
Oh, yes.
What was that one?
Work for Donna Summer.
Oh, yeah.
Super dramatic, super fun, really campy.
Let's talk about some favorite gifs and memes of the show. For so many of us during the off season, what keeps Drag Race sort of in the lexicon is going on Twitter, going on Instagram, and seeing those iconic memes, those iconic gifs. So Yuha, I wanted to ask you, if you had to think of one that comes to mind.
Anything with Jasmine Masters.
Yes.
Jasmine Masters, freaking crazy, that bitch.
I love it.
Like any facial expression she gives on the show and off from the show, it's crazy. It's funny.
Yeah. I think my favorite is probably Nina Bonina planking and Untucked, just like
I was just laying there.
Megan,
I've
stop,
never seen that
please.
one.
I haven't seen that.
Every episode, she's just like, Megan, stop. Like,
But
She looks
that's
over
what
it.
we've done. We understand the
Yeah,
main girls
yeah.
in a quartet for 6 hours, girl. You're like
I love
prostrate.
Jiggly Caliente falling when she was doing
fell?
that little. Remember, it was
Oh,
like
yes,
the little
the spinner-
spinny
the
thing.
first episode.
Yes, bitch. You just
fell?
see this. Boom.
Randomly from season 9, I loved the one of James Mansfield just doing the cartwheel. And just
Where she
into
was spinning
everything,
into outer
into the
space.
universe.
Oh yes, that is funny.
And she's posted that a bunch too.
Oh,
Yeah.
the ultimate is the Ornacia on top of the. Going all the way up into the sky.
My favorite, I spent lots of my friends is of the Alyssa Edwards. You that girl, I knew you were. Like you did not show up to brunch. You that girl, I knew you were.
Oh, another one.
Her in All Stars 2 when she's just looking.
Oh yes.
Any facial expression of Alyssa Edwards is the most amazing
Triggered.
Right?
Trigger.
Oh, Tyra Sanchez being like, why you talking?
Why you talking?
Wait,
And Jujubee goes back and says, just conversate. Just conversate.
were there
Favorite-
gifts in season 2?
Just say
Favorite. Willem, your tone sounds very pointed. Best meme ever.
Or she'll say, nurse.
Nurses help people. She needs help.
I
love
gifts
Nurse.
in season 2. People making gifts in season 2.
Yeah.
Were gifts born that
They were making memes.
Oh,
memes. They were making memes, bitch.
So one thing fans are super duper excited about is having Untucked back on the air. Long time coming, and so I want to get some favorite Untucked moments, starting with Dusty.
I'm from Chicago, bitch.
Yeah.
I love that one. My favorite for sure.
I thought a fight was gonna happen. I thought a physical fight was literally gonna happen between her and Morgan McMichael.
I was waiting for my sister Morgan to whoop that bitch's ass. I really
Punch me in
was.
the cheeks, girl. Punch me.
Oh, I think that we all know the ultimate one.
Fix your mug.
I never had a sugar daddy.
If I wanted a sugar daddy, I could go out and get a sugar daddy.
I don't understand why she
know
wouldn't
why?
want
'Cause I
one.
am-
Because I would want one.
Of course you would. You want
I like the video when it's all the girls sipping and it's all. And it just cuts to every bitch in fucking Untucked. I love that
like
one.
Trying to get a straw with their mouths without looking in. Like,
I liked Bianca Del Rio talking to Trinity K. Bonet. Tell me what you do professionally.
Oh yeah.
My favorite is like, they're perfect, you're beautiful, you look like a
like
model,
a
you're
model.
you're a model.
What do you think it is about Untucked that like the fans connect with so much? Is there a specific thing? Yeah.
It's
the
raw.
part of the
Most
show.
real.
That's when we and that's when we get liquor.
That's what we get looked at.
So it's really
that's our favorite about it.
Once we get drunk, then that's when we get comfortable and let it down, and then we start yapping.
Well,
Just
and because when you get to sit down, take your shoes off, undo your
Spill
corset,
tea.
emotions start to flood in every part of your body,
She-
and it
she
just happens to
finished
come
getting
out of
her
your
cheeks on the
mouth.
stage,
Yeah.
you know, and then they put us
Yeah.
all in one room.
Yeah.
You're like, this is the emotion that I have. This is the feeling that I have towards you. You know.
And after you finish a challenge for a day or two, like, and filming it, and you're finally like unwinding after all of it, you're like,
You're like, I'm over.
it's over. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to talk, and when somebody talks over at the wrong time or the wrong person, next thing you know, somebody's flipping out, you flipping out, your sister's flipping
You could
out.
say hi and be like, bitch, what?
damn.
Who hasn't talked
Bitch,
to
what's
Trixie?
up? What?
And also, and that's like when you got the one person that didn't have necessarily a great episode sitting there like.
just all in the feelings.
Yes, girl.
And they're like,
Or you got
what's the matter?
And then you got the girls that are like, I'm gonna be in the bottom, and then the bitches are like, no, you're not, bitch. I'm gonna be in the bottom.
And then you got that someone that's just like,
We're all bottoms.
you're fine, you're fine.
But
So many of you have pre-existing relationships with former queens on the show, drag daughters, drag mothers, etc. I want to know what's some advice that former queens on the show gave you before you first entered the workroom. I want to start with Monet, who I think has a relationship with a former queen.
I don't know that bitch.
really,
I think that's. I think that's probably the best advice I got from Bob about the show was to authentically be you. Like everybody else is taken. The reason why RuPaul looked at your tape and was like, oh, I want that girl is because he liked what you had to bring, what you were presenting, what you put on that tape. Sure. So it was like, yeah, don't get caught up in the cameras and trying to present something to the world. Just be authentically you, and that's in the end what's gonna ring true and make your brand your brand.
Or get sent home.
Sometimes it's better not to be yourself.
Right.
Sometimes it's better not to be yourself.
What's some other advice that you guys got?
I know Shay definitely told me, she's like, you are entertaining when you don't hold back. Don't hold back. Like, just be yourself, speak your mind, because because when you're looking at it later, you will regret the things that you didn't say. So like, put it out there.
Yeah, Bianca kind of said the same thing to me. It's like, just be yourself. And if you weren't there for a situation, don't answer. If they're asking you something about something you weren't there for, like, don't ring in about it. Like, it has nothing to do with you.
Another thing she said was be humble, be kind, but also willing to work hard.
Yeah.
I think that is so important.
How's that going so far?
I'm still working because, I'm Asian. We love to work.
I randomly had two different moments. One is obviously before season 9, the advice was to, no matter how exhausted you get, remember you only have until you're either eliminated or the end of the filming, so you can sleep after it's done. Mm-hmm. So never shortchange yourself. But then also when I was coming back, randomly Valentina gave me advice, of all people, and she was just like,
she said smile.
No,
Smile.
she said, Eureka, I want to tell you something, sissy. She said, you have a huge heart, but you also have a big mouth. So you need to calm your mouth down so the world can see your heart. And she was right, you know? It was a good thing to say. She was like, in 9, I tried to overcompensate so much, so she gave me the advice, like, sometimes you don't have to always be the one that says something. Yeah. So learn how to not say something when you want to, too, you know?
Question, why didn't you listen to her?
Wait a minute! She actually did work on that a little bit. I did a little bit.
I think for me, I had a lot of existing relationships with a lot of the queens that have been on the shows.
Basically everybody from LA.
Basically everyone. Everyone from LA and around everywhere. Because I've been in this fucking shit for so long. But everyone told me the same thing, to be myself. They're like, be yourself because we all love who you are. Yeah. So just be who you are, and everyone else is gonna fall in line and love you. And I was just like, I don't like that advice. Fuck that shit. But it was the best advice that I got from everyone.
Yeah, just be yourself.
Yeah,
it's so much easier.
I got some really good advice that I actually didn't listen to, and I wish I had, like, going back into it. Kasha Davis told me, she was like, really just live in the moment. You only have this time for a short period of time, like when you're filming it, and take each day and just live in it. And I was always like focused on day 3 before even day 1 happened. I was always thinking about like, okay, what can I do to get through this challenge, or what can I do to get through this runway and to stay safe or to be in the top. And I never really thought about, oh, I'm eating breakfast today, or I'm thankful to be here. And I just wish if I could go back and do one thing, I would totally just be like, oh, let me enjoy today just because I'm here today, versus thinking about tomorrow.
It's a very humbling experience to be in the studio and to realize how many people have passed through those doors. But also, like, the most shocking thing to me was how many people actually work on the production. There's so many talent. Like, the art department is huge. They're amazing. Like, you go past the parking lot and you're like, who are all these cars? I only saw 4 people today. There are so many people working behind the scenes that you'll never meet and you'll never get to thank. And like, it's really humbling to think that they're all doing it technically for you.
So thank you, production.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll cook for you guys.
This morning, Shangela was on Ira Madison's podcast, Keep It. And one of the things that Shangela talked about was sort of Drag Race being able to show the many shades of drag and sort of just diversifying who can and cannot be a drag queen. One thing that she said was it helped to humanize drag queens. I wanted to get your response to that. Vixen, let's start with you.
I definitely believe it helps humanize drag queens. We were talking the other day about like movies that drag queens were in, and that a lot of the times the thread was, I'm doing this for my family or to like be close, like Miss Doubtfire, to be closer to my daughter or something like that. And what people don't realize is like, yeah, you see the clown, but like there's a story behind it. We have a lot of times, I mean, you don't become a man in a dress for no reason. You know, like something happened along the way. And so like a lot of times like people miss that, and they miss that like, oh, I want to meet you, touch you, but how's your day? And so it's really beautiful that now people understand that like, we go through a lot before you see all of it.
But I think that's what the beautiful thing about Drag Race is, because it's more than just the competition. It's about the contestants and their backstories. All the girls here have such beautiful stories that obstacles they've overcome to get here that made them beautiful people that they are today. And that's what I think Drag Race really celebrates. Really reaches out to the kids that are just like me or Yuha or Cameron. You know what I mean though, girl. You're a little rusty, crusty. No, I'm kidding.
Here we go. I knew it was going to go that way too.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, also, I think it's important because now that drag is becoming such a mainstream thing, now that drag is in people's faces all the time, it helps to like, for the beast that is Drag Race, to show like little moms in like Little Rock, Arkansas, like, oh, you know what, that Aquarius isn't that weird after all. Yeah, she puts on women's clothes. Well, she is weird, but yeah, she puts on women's clothes. But she could be just like my son, who like takes a football practice every day. You know what I mean? So I think that it's really important in that way to show people who would never experience drag, because a lot of us are from big cities, like you know what I mean, from New York and LA and Tennessee and all that stuff. But people from smaller cities may not necessarily ever see or even smell a drag queen in their life.
Yeah, I mean, on the smaller city topic, like I come from a small town in East Tennessee, you know, and before I was on the show, you know, a lot of people in the area weren't huge supporters of the drag scene. Also, like, now that I've been on the show, like, there are heteronormative families that know about drag, know about me, like they're watching it, they're being exposed to it. When I worked at my home bar recently, you know, I had so many people that I had never seen before that were literally like, we started watching this because you were on, and like they're like, you know, my dad is finally like starting to kind of accept me because he sees that there's like acceptance in the world for it, and there's possibilities for me to be successful, and there's so many elements to a small town that need the extra exposure.
Absolutely. I want to talk for a minute about the subject you just mentioned, sort of the mainstreaming of drag. I did a little digging into your social medias at some of the comments, and a lot of people think that they are experts on drag.
Oh, they are.
I'm sure. Actually, no, you all experience this quite a bit. So what is it like now, as your fan bases begin to grow and grow, watching people coming in the comment section critiquing your art? I have to imagine that's really stressful. Aquaria, let's start with you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's definitely some people in the comments who think they know more than a drag queen about drag. And, you know, they're the viewers, and that's, you know, our audience of who we're performing for. So in some sense, maybe they shouldn't know about drag more than me, but maybe they, you know, their opinion's important because they're the ones who are supposed to be enjoying it. You know, sometimes my style of drag is not necessarily what has been recently popularized, and you know, I'm walking in here with a mullet as opposed to, you know, some nicely coiffed wig, and yeah, it kind of looks like there's a dead raccoon on my head, but that's what I wanted. I did it intentionally, and it looks really cool.
Sickening.
Yeah. I mean, sickening to the point that it could be a dead raccoon, but yeah, it's just like, you know, even the drag that I do is not really so out of the box, but these drag fans that think they know everything maybe need to go back into their textbooks and graduate from, you know, Drag Race 101 and move on to the next level of class.
I don't really mind the critiques, actually, because I think that's the beauty of the internet. You can be Team Vixen, you can be Team Cameron, you can be Team Mayhem, you can be Team Yuhua. That's fine. You know, and that's what makes this country great, is that you can have the opinion, you have the option to voice your opinion. Whether.
Okay.
Okay.
Keep that shit somewhere else. Yes, this is America, and you have the right to say whatever the bleep you want to.
Manners.
Wonderful, great. But if you're gonna come on my page, and first of all, mug always is on. If your mug or your eyebrows don't even match, bitch, you better stay clean the fuck out of it. You better.
Picture.
Bitch.
Don't talk to me.
I think what makes me the most upset is when people don't critique my drag, people critique who I am as a person. And people critique the boy underneath the makeup and the guy and like who I am. And that's what upsets me, because what you see on TV and what we all portray on TV is not exactly the fullest form of who we are as people. And so I'm fine with people telling me, hey, I'm not loving your hair. Hey, I don't love that. I love it and I'm happy with it. But don't tell me I'm not a good person, and don't tell me I'm not, you know, you're gonna judge my character. I'd rather you judge my drag than who I am.
I agree.
I think for me, the biggest thing is when they compare girls against other performers. That I think I'm excited that the fans are that excited that they are so about somebody. But how dare you compare that to someone else? Like, it's not fair, because we all bring something different to the table. We all are good in our own right, and we all are talented. But to take away from someone else's talent to build someone else up and tear them down is not the right way to do it.
I think the biggest thing for me is just my character as a person. I would never reach out onto somebody else's social media page and comment something that's not positive. I feel like with you girls or anybody else, if I'm commenting, I'm saying words of encouragement or something. My character would never allow me to go on somebody's social media page and say something negative about them. I couldn't do that so I don't understand it.
I might look at the photo and go, bitch, what the fuck was you thinking? But to take time and type it out, and knowing me, I'm probably gonna have to like go back, make sure the word was spelled correctly, because you don't want to get read for reading the bitch. You know what I mean? That's time.
You know what I find most funny is that when you actually clap back at them. And then they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean it. I'm sorry. You're actually very fierce.
You reply, they're like, wait, because they want the attention. They want that. They want you to feed into that negativity, and it's awful, because sometimes you want to say, you know what, bitch, that's not cool. What the hell? I am beautiful.
Do no harm, but take no shit. Like, you don't have to take people's shit, but you should also not put harm into the world. You don't have to be hateful back.
What I love is how how Instagram now, you can filter out certain words. You can like, there's a blanket filter for just like negative. I will, because now I'm in this bubble where I just believe that everybody loves me, because there's no, and I'm just like, yes, it is just amazing, because you can't even say certain words that would hurt my feelings or anything like that, and then you can't. One, you have to. Either I have to be following you, or you have to follow me to even make a comment. So that way, you gotta really not like that dress to say something about it.
We need to have a tech moment.
Can I close this one out?
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like critiquing drag is like a full-time job.
Yeah.
And we all have full-time jobs too, but we're getting paid for ours.
And you're on your parents' Wi-Fi, so let's pay up.
So we've seen a lot of trolls in the past getting involved in Queen's business, and it's happened in a really extreme form.
You want us to name some?
Yes, please. No, cheesy. No, but we've seen it with Jasmine Masters, with Nina Bonina, with Alexis Michelle, etc. I've seen you all making a really concerted effort to affirm this sisterhood amongst you. How important is that as you go forward and start to, you know, as the show goes live and we start seeing the 14 of you together, how important is it to remain that sisterhood and to keep that message out there? Let's start with Cameron.
Sure. I think that we all get along very well, especially now that the show has wrapped filming. We all went through this experience together, and until you're on the show and on set, you have no idea what it's like.
Preach.
It is one of the hardest things you will ever experience in your entire lifetime, and the fact that 14 of us did that together, we are such a tight family now, and we all love and adore each other, no matter how different we are or our opinions, and I think that brings us together.
Because nobody experienced what we experienced.
Nobody.
Nobody knows what happens behind those closed doors except us.
Not even our sisters on other seasons.
No, because it's different.
It's harder
Every
every year
season is
because
different.
the level of expectation goes up every year.
And I can tell you from being on season 9 to 10, 10 was not playing any motherfucking games, okay? It was a hard season. But also, like, the support thing, like, there's so many times where, like, we have to call each other just to get out of our own heads. Like, there's anxiety that comes with this. There are expectations from society, from Ru, from the girls girls from each other that sometimes it's hard to live up to.
Yeah.
And if we didn't have each other, because we can't just like call anybody up and be like, girl, I'm stressing out about this moment that happened on the show and this and that. So if we don't have each other to hold each other and lift each other up,
Because
then we're
there's
gonna go
nobody
stir
that tells
crazy.
you what happens after the show, like how to prepare yourself for the show.
Yeah.
Nobody to guide you except ourselves.
All of a sudden,
and
you have
also,
to be a professional, an
yeah,
entertainer professional.
you have to face this all by yourself on your own.
Businesswoman.
And not only do you have to do that, but you also have to put on your front and your character for the world to see. Like you have to, if you want to be successful, you have to put on this happy facade. And sometimes like I've just broken down and I needed to call someone. I needed to call Eureka. I needed to reach out to someone and be like, hey, what's it like? You've been through this before because I need help. And it's not always easy.
Fabulous.
Amazing.
fabulous.
Like if there's one person I want to thank,
Fabulous.
it's always Eureka. She
And you
always
know,
knows
and
what
even
to
if
do.
I don't, oh, she called me on the phone and like 3 hours later, you're like, oh my God, stop talking. But you're so grateful for her because she has been through it before and she has experienced it before. So it's nice to hear from someone, especially so recent. You know what I mean? Because it is a difference hearing from someone who was on season 9 as opposed to someone on season 3 or 4. You know what I mean? Because it was a different monster. So I'm thankful for you, girl.
Let's talk for a minute about skincare. I believe some of you are wearing makeup. Yeah, a little bit. So, yeah. So I want to know, what are some of the secrets, or how do you guys get out of makeup, and how do you keep your skin looking so good?
Water and cocoa butter, honey.
One of my favorite things to take my makeup off with is this oil from Kiehl's. It's called Midnight Makeup Oil, and it is everything. It is better than a cold cream. It can come off right in your shower, and it leaves your skin feeling so silky.
But you're dusty, you always got eyeliner on.
Because listen.
It must not be that good, girl.
After the gig and that's it, boo-boo.
I like it. They paid her for this announcement, girl. They paid her for this sponsorship.
What are some other skincare secrets?
I just use Dove exfoliate. Listen, a lot of these girls that like, I know Mayhem. I will bet $10,000 right now.
Okay.
You walk into Mayhem Miller's bathroom, there is like 99 products that she probably uses.
You just lost your motherfucking money, bitch. Because I will tell you, my skincare regimen is as follows: hot water, dish soap.
No.
Yes, dish soap. I use Dawn to take off my makeup, and then I use rubbing alcohol to get the rest off, and then I'll just
Does that shit dry your face?
and then I'll just put regular lotion on my skin. But the thing is, I exfoliate every day, and I drink a lot of water as well.
Yeah.
I like
I drink a lot of
oil
water.
to break it up. That's to break it up.
Drink water just
For me,
make them. You're supposed to drink water.
Yeah, for me, I use Neutrogena wipes. Are actually one of my favorite things.
I use
to
those.
especially in travel.
I still turn out.
And then after the Neutrogena wipe, I make sure to wash my face again, like with a regular wash, and then always moisturize after.
Yeah.
You know, when you're pulling all of that hydration out of your skin, make sure that you hydrate. Because if you don't, you're gonna end up with
And real moisturizer, not lotion.
Yeah.
It needs to be
Yeah.
real moisturizer.
No,
I love
Jergens.
coconut
You know
oil.
what? My like
Coconut oil.
Coconut oil.
moisturizer to this day, and my great grandmother taught me this. Vaseline.
Yes,
Cocoa butter Vaseline.
Oh, your face?
Yes.
Yes.
You scrub out your makeup.
bitch. Tyra Banks
I
does
do
it.
not leave the house without
Under your
coating
eye?
my face with Vaseline. Because if you do it,
Oh, no,
especially if
that's
you do it
too
early in the
greasy,
morning,
bitch.
no, it soaks in so nice, and I maybe get a pimple once
And
in
it
3
works
years.
with works with any skin type
Yeah.
actually, especially if you have dry or anything. Vaseline's a really good, but you have to be careful around your eyes. The thing is what people don't understand is your eye skin is so thin that regular lotions doesn't work. One of my biggest pieces of advice, if you want to keep from getting like dark circles or crow's feet and things like that, make sure that you get a lotion or a serum that is for the skin around your eyes.
Oh, girl, I am a low-key wildebeest. I literally just use fucking Neutrogena wipes.
Well, you look like a wildebeest. Don't you?
And you smell like one too.
I just use fucking Neutrogena wipes, girl. I get in the shower sometimes, and that's it. It's really
I
it.
want to close out with a fan question. I asked a bunch of fans out there to ask a question, and there was one fan in particular that was very enthusiastic about wanting to chat with you. You guys might know her as the winner of All Stars 3, Trixie Mattel. So, Ms. Trixie Mattel asks, which RuPaul's song do you want played at your funeral? So I want each of you to answer that, and so let's start with
Good case over the
Monet.
prairie. I didn't even think about it. I don't know.
Go that way. Go that way.
Oh gosh! Wait, no, I was trying to get you a really good answer, and as you guys probably already figured out, I'm not great at coming up.
Okay, let's go out of order. Whoever can think of it.
Snapshot, 100%. Every time I hear that song, I want to get my runway fantasy
Snapshot.
on.
How's that?
At your
work?
funeral.
Snapshot.
Snap.
Oh, do we
I
right?
really feel it. Oh, I love it. Every time my boyfriend knows to put it on.
Like two.
I'm a classic bitch, so I'm going with supermodel for mine.
Oh, that's a good one. You know what? I will do call me mother, but they gotta change the word mother to brother. Call me brother. Call me brother.
Call me brother. Okay,
I think I figured it out. Okay, so this is weird, but I think, because it's for your funeral, right? Yeah. This is the beginning of the rest of your life. Right? Because I love, there's this quote from like some scientists that says like, we will all spend more time dead than we ever spent alive. And so this is the beginning of the rest of your life.
Right? Wow, that's interesting.
Oh, that's so artistic.
That is artistic.
She can
House of Love.
House of Love. Real deep.
Aquarium wants House of Love. I didn't even know he did that song.
It's from Supermodel.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
House of Love.
I think mine would be American. Because I am American.
Well, I can't play that during my funeral.
Well, you are now.
I feel like, my life is
Are you illegal?
literally the American dream, you know? Small town, poor family, single mom, honey maid.
Wait, what is that song you did with Lady Gaga? Do What You Want in My Body? That's a good one too, because you did.
Girl, that the girl still bitch.
And
that,
R. Kelly.
that white hair. Hold on.
Fashion.
I would say Snapshot or Dust to the Moon, just because like it's so iconic.
Well, I want to thank you all so much. You guys have been really quiet, and you've made it a little difficult to get you to come out of your shells, but I think we got there by the end. Everyone, you can tune in to RuPaul's Drag Race Thursdays at 8 on VH1. Thank you all so much, and best of luck.
Thank you, baby.
Two.